Cull Obsidian is here, and I'm here to answer the question, is Cull Obsidian good? The answer is yes. I think this card is very good. In fact, I think it's very strong. 4.5 stars. Honestly, it's a 410 power. The condition is so easy to meet. It's just so good. And yes, it is Shanchiable, so that's something to keep in mind. But the nice thing about it is, like with something like a Zabu, you play it down at a 3 cost with a 1 drop, and you still can play a Jeff with the extra 2 power. It's kind of crazy. The ability to stage the 1 drop, which I found one of the best, is Nightcrawler, because you can actually move Nightcrawler to a new location, and the move counts as the stage for Cull Obsidian's requirements. So honestly, very good card. And the decks that I have here available for you today that I'll showcase, which are going to be linked down in the description below, have been performing very good. And even chat was saying, hey Alex, like I'm 12-0 with the deck, and like it's kind of crazy how successful some of these decks have been already. So I'm interested to hear your feedback and what you think. Cull Obsidian right off the top though, 410. You have to have a 1 cost card in the location it's being played. It's good. It's fantastic. And it's a pretty good week too, honestly. If you don't have Thanos, you gotta roll for Thanos, right? Very strong week with Thanos in it as well. So ultimately, I do like Cull Obsidian. Let's talk about a couple of the decks here. We have Curve Obsidian. I'm gonna switch kind of views here to a little tighter. We have Curve Obsidian. And the nice thing about this deck here is that, like, the whole premise was, okay, let's do nothing fancy. Let's make the cheapest, most budget-oriented deck that like only has like maybe a couple expensive cards, but most people should be able to build, right? Most of you should have Jeff. I mean, Miss Marvel and Nebula are probably the 2 expensive pieces. Other than that, if you have Cull Obsidian, Doom, Vision, the Storm, Nightcrawler, Zabu, these are relatively inexpensive cards. Jessica Jones. And what this essentially is a deck that just curves out very strong, constantly puts power on the board, and you could even consider getting rid of like something for a Alioth if you happen to have it as well. It starts to get towards like the lockdown side of the deck and the archetype, but I thought this deck was very strong. Curve Obsidian I called it just because you play everything out on curve and it feels really good to do so, right? No card here feels bad to play out on its appropriate cost, right? So I really did like this deck, and again, the Iceman I think is really good for the combo-centric decks. You can replace with any 1 drop you want, but Nightcrawler and Nebula were very strong, especially the Nightcrawler with Cull Obsidian, which gives you the opportunity to put them wherever the heck you want. So pretty cool with Curve Obsidian here. And then we go to Obsidian Moon. I really like this deck. This was a little more on the greedy side. This brew I did find a lot of success with. Again, you have the Annihilus package with the Hood and the Sentry. What I really liked doing was moon grilling though, because if you have power on the board, especially with the magic going into like turn 6 and 7, if you were able to kind of moon grill the Scar and you're playing down Sentries and Magnetos, suddenly the Scar is very inexpensive, 2 cost, and you might have multiple of them. I even got the Scar down to 0 in a specific game, which I thought was pretty cool. So when you add Cull Obsidian to that, suddenly the cost of the cards just drop. Quinjet activates the Cull Obsidian synergy as well, so like you have lots of options. And I even had games where I'm just replicating Hood, dropping lots of Hoods, dropping lots of Demons, and then just playing Annihilus and shoving a whole bunch of garbage over, right? This deck was a lot of fun to play. A little more like high rolly than the other deck. Like this other deck I showed you, Curve Obsidian, you could just straight up play consistently and it just feels good. This deck takes a little more nuance, but still really fun. And what elevates it honestly is not only the Cull Obsidian's power, but now you have a Cull Obsidian that comes out so strong, potentially on turn 3, and then you have to deal with a Sentry and a Demon on turn 4, and then the Annihilus on turn 5. I just knocked stuff off my desk. Anyways, really strong deck. So I did like the Obsidian Moon as well. And then we went into the Thanos. We wanted to test Thanos if it worked. A lot of people are just trying the straight up like Thanos that you're seeing right now, like the regular Thanos. I'm like, yeah, let's try more of a Zeus style Thanos. So we added the Ant-Man in, kept Chiera, added the Cull Obsidian, went with a blue Marvel. Kazar felt like a little greedy. It was fine. It felt good. Like it just felt like a really good Thanos deck. And I mean, that's basically that, right? And Black Swan doing really well. This deck cuts the Supergiant in favor of Cull Obsidian and adds an Ant-Man as well. So honestly, it's just Thanos. It's good. I mean, I think Cull Obsidian is going to be a very natural play into any Thanos deck. Is he unnecessary power? He could even be considered that, because these decks often like the tech and the optionality that the stones and all the cards like Chiera, Black Swan, Supergiant that they give. And then we have Obsidian Evolved, which is a new take on my Super Green Giants deck that I had done during this Supergiant release. And essentially this adds Cull Obsidian to it. It's just basically that simple, and the deck works. And ultimately I kind of felt like, okay, I think maybe the Infinite version might be better because you have the Taskmaster play into the float turn 6, and I think like obviously Cull Obsidian's half the power of the Infinite, so if you're playing Taskmaster Supergiant, you probably want Infinite still, even though Hulk often gets huge, but you don't always draw Hulk. You generally do, but anyways, I digress. So this deck felt good. It felt good. It has a good win rate. You are going to get solid cubes with it, but ultimately I think that it's probably just better in traditional Shinnot. Keep the Leech, take out Cosmo, which is the key component of this meta deck, and add Cull Obsidian, and you got yourself a lot of power. How much would you love to just get rid of that 4/4 High Evolutionary and just leave Cull Obsidian? But you can't get rid of High Evo because High Evo makes everything else work. But ultimately, this is probably a pretty damn good deck if like you have the High Evo shell, you unlock Cull Obsidian, and you're looking for a relatively inexpensive High Evo deck that you can play that has Eye Impact with the new card. Regardless, guys, I hope that you enjoy these gameplay highlights recorded live on Twitch TV. If you haven't joined us on Twitch, use the link in the description to join us live. We have a lot of fun. I'd love to see you there. Hit the like button if you'd like to support my content, and if you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing just so you guys can stay up to date with my latest content. Hope you enjoy these gameplay highlights. I would almost snap this. I am gonna snap it. Why not? Zabu Moon Girl Magic, this is good. Scar on the left, which means Scar is gonna get duplicated. No one drop though. No one drop. We are piloting the Obsidian Moon with Dead Space, of course. Why wouldn't there be Dead Space? We do have Nightcrawler. Now, Nightcrawler still counts as a 1 in Dead Space, so we probably move Nightcrawler somewhere. And then, as much as we want to move Nightcrawler into Kunlun, it probably ends up mid. We'll see what happens. I think we get rid of this. Yeah, for that reason. They're holding something. I don't want no... Yeah, okay. Interesting that they held their hand so long. They would have had both those cards in their hand. Strange. I mean, we could Moon Girl... I think we replicate Hood, no? Yeah, I think we might replicate the Hood. I think we do... I'm gonna do Nightcrawler right, just to give us some optionality here. I think this is pretty decent. Double Annihilus isn't necessarily what we want. We wanted double Cull Obsidian. We just got culled. See how this plays. Now, if I play a Scar, he'll discount the other Scar, right? There's the Cull Obsidian. I think we just always play Annihilus into Demon here. Because I think we want to punish them as much as we can right now. They have initiative. I doubt they're running armor, but they're going to fill the locations, right? 2-7. This deck's new, so I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I think we have to Annihilus now. This is fine. So he blocks it off. But this is not worrisome for us. Like, actually flipping the Hoods and the Voids is obviously preferred, but we don't need to. And we can stage the Demon for Cull Obsidian here. Right? So we win there, we win there. So we stage the Demon, we flip this, we play this. Zay cubes. They have no Space Stone, no Jeff, no mobility. The Echo does kill Quinjet. Weird.
I am inevitable.
So this player actually went 8 on me here. Assuming we can't win, right? It's fine. So that's 8 cubes. That's 8 cubes. Very strong win there. And then Cull Obsidian with the demon. You can see how we stage it on that turn. Flips the board for us. Very nice. People have been demanding that I give Corvus Glaive a little bit more love. People are saying I'm being unrealistically negative on Corvus. I still think he's probably bad. But I am really high on Cull Obsidian. I felt like Cull Obsidian was probably going to be an absolute chat. And it looks like that might actually come true. Because so far, the condition has been unbelievably easy to hit. It makes Crossbones feel like so just bad. Cull Obsidian is unbelievably good compared to Crossbones. It's Storm into Warrior Falls here. I could even snap, but we'll stay a little patient. The reason for this is because if they have a magic, magic could disrupt our Storm location here. And we don't want that to happen. Now in this case here, Cull Obsidian cannot go there. We're going to play the JJ. We have JJ Vision Doom. These are pretty strong cards here. They're skipping, fair enough. So even though we have Cull, unless we top deck with Nightcrawler, yeah, see, like here in this situation, you could play Cull Obsidian. That's 12 power, or you have a mobile 10. I'd rather have the mobile vision here. You always take vision. I'm gonna snap here. If they float too much with magic and stuff, Sunspot becomes shuncheable. If they leech, Cull Obsidian's absolutely just playable then. I hope they leech me.
All systems go.
So Cyclops is going to pew-pew us here? No pew-pews? Why you no pew-pew? So are they just going to Hulk mid here? Is that the idea? They drop Hulkamania on us? So let's actually test how vertical Cull Obsidian can go here. So we're at 14 power. We have a mobile vision. Let's not move vision. Let's give left. They have Cyclops, Misty Knight. If they play Hulk, it's 6 power. There's no float. We're 4 up. 14, 17 power. They skipped what? Once, twice? They skipped none from Misty Knight. This should actually outpower a Hulk mid. Let's see what they do. It's 2 cards. Cull Obsidian, Jeff. Enchantress and Nico. Deadpool 67 is a little inebriated. We would have outpaced a Hulk there. But again, like, it's just straight up power, right? There's nothing wrong with just the straight up power of Cull Obsidian there. And the fact that he's a 4 cost, I don't even have Zabo on the board. 4, like, that's a lot with Jeff. A lot of versatility on where we put that power on the board too. So all these decks have just been freshly designed, and I am willing to make some changes and kind of experiment, flip things around, etc., etc. And we do have the Jessica Jones Storm combination, which is pretty strong. However, Mindscape feels a little gross. I think I want to get rid of Mindscape. Do I want to get rid of Mindscape? We're dropping Storm mid. Nebula getting a little bigger than I would have liked. Here as a hype train starts. The hype trains are coming. We're gonna play down our Miss Marvel here. This is gonna be a Doctor Doom. We'll have to see where we play out from there. They're not playing cards. This is post infinite, so this is a player. I'm gonna be interested in seeing what they do to give us a good old pump here. So this is gonna be Cull Obsidian plus whatever we top deck probably. Cull Obsidian can only go left, which is fine, because it kind of outpaces the Nebula. But Nebula did get way bigger than she probably should have been. Okay, there's that. We don't lose to Odin there. There's the Cull Obsidian. We're going to Zebu Cull Obsidian and see if it's just like, there's nothing fancy about this game. 4 drop, 6, 4 drop, 2, punch on over. This should be a straightforward win. Potential Magneto could be problematic, but I still think we out-trade. It's Odin. Okay, so we were always going to win that because Odin was never going to trade mid. So we do get the win there. Okay, very good. And as you can see, even though this Nebula is absolutely massive as a 9, the Cull Obsidian did give us the opportunity to kind of offset that power loss. Got the Danger Room. Does Cull fit in High Evo? Yes. I do have an High Evo shell. We do have a High Evo version of Cull Obsidian. Just tilt them right out with the snap. They leave. They're so mad. I like the very classic just tilt snap there. This would have been a really good Series 4 card. But I think what's happening, I don't know what their data is showing, but I suspect there's data that indicates that there's a lot of hoarding of resources. And I wonder if they're trying to avoid that, so they're releasing more Series 5 cards to put more pressure on the hoarding of resources. Perfect. Sewer system prevents synergy with Scar. So unfortunate, to be honest with you. So unbelievably unfortunate. I kind of want to Moon Girl the Scar, but we won't get there. I think you just play Scar. Could have been one of our good cards, honestly, so we actually kind of cost ourselves there. We send these over. When we drew Moon Girl, we weren't exactly in the right spot. They're going to have Shang-Chi in their deck. Anytime you see Zabu, Shang-Chi's there. Right? But thankfully, Sentry's going to be safe. Scar gets killed here, but it's Devil Dinosaur. A bit of an overcommittal there in that lane, in my opinion. But now they can't Shang-Chi here. They just got destroyed. I think it's Moon Girl over here. No. Yes. We Zabu here. We still draw a card. Hopefully it's Cull Obsidian. We can stage with a demon. In mid. Loki. Wasn't expecting Loki. So demon, Cull Obsidian, demon. I don't they can't win. They need to leave. We actually shouldn't be playing Cull Obsidian mid because this is begging for Shang-Chi. This kind of is really, mid's really susceptible to Shang-Chi. However, they would have to have top decked it because they took my deck and I'm greedy as hell with no Shang-Chi. Yeah, they just lose. So this is another good example of like how you top deck the Cull Obsidian late, but because you can stage the demon like the 1-drop on the turn, it's no problem. I'm gonna feed this Invisible Woman in here. Let's see what happens. Bruh. She's low-key so good there. What do I kick? I have to kick her over, though, with something.
Breaking news.
Kicking her over with a Tuma is not good. Because we'll have higher power. He got my Atuma. That helps. Blorville helps a lot. I think we try this. It's kind of cute. Now that is a beautiful win in Marvel Snap. That is such a good win.